Hello all and welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. Thank you yet again for the love and support on yesterday's video. If you did migrate some of your DOVU tokens to the Hedera token service, make sure you check out my previous video as it shows you how to claim your airdrop. Similarly, if you've ever used the Ethereum chain in the past via wallets like MetaMask, also check that video out as you can get some free HTS DOVU tokens for just participating in a carbon offset operation. That being said, there is tons of news to cover again in today's video, so I'll be jumping into that. Make sure you are subscribed as we are still climbing on the subscriber numbers, which is great to see. Tons more videos coming out all about the crypto industry in general, as well as key projects like Hedera that I cover over on this channel. That being said, let's jump in. So, crypto bubbles, we can see the majority of the markets are, or projects today in the market are green. Bit of a resurgence. Again, like I said, we are sort of a bit choppy at the moment, up and down across the board. See UST there has pumped 45% and Luna's up nearly 15%. I will be covering some more news on Luna today as Do-Kwon has come out with a plan of action for the Luna ecosystem. Oh, that's just dropped down to 15% UST. So you've seen that in real time. That price has just slammed itself pretty hard. That being said, I'm still accumulating some key positions. So obviously I picked up some more Hbar yesterday and I'm going to continue to do so. As I said before, as long as it's below sort of 25 to 20 cents, it's a good buy for me personally, as I believe in it for the long term. I do want to pick up some additional Rune. I'm buying more Quant as well, which we can see over here. I've been buying as much of this as I possibly can whenever I've got funds left from my Hbar purchases. Crow is another one that I think will continue to do very well into the future. These coins that are based around exchanges, so for example, Kronos being the native token to crypto.com and BNB for Binance, obviously, I think will do well into the future. Engine as well, crazy discounted value at the moment. Always a great token to pick up. Obviously, you've got Ripple that you could decide to pick up right now. We're at the 40-cent level roughly, which is always a great buy. Stellar Lumens as well. There is so much opportunity in the markets at the moment. I'm trying to spread my capital across those positions, obviously weighting more towards Hbar. How can I forget Link as well? Sub $10 purchase on Chainlink. That's always going to be a good buy in my personal opinion. Of course, make sure you're doing your research. Tons of videos on my channel covering all of those coins that I just mentioned. Flicking across to the crypto fear and greed index, we're now at an 8, and this is the lowest we've seen since March, I think, of 2021. So we are at an incredibly low point. As I said before, historically, obviously, we're extrapolating out into the future, and historical price action doesn't always correlate with future price action. However, historically, whenever we've been in the extreme fear zone, it's tend to be a great opportunity to buy. We can see here, extreme fear can be a sign that investors are worried. That could be a buying opportunity. Investors are getting too greedy. This means the market is due for a correction. And that kind of goes back with what I've said many times before, which is I tend to buy on red days and sell on green days. If the project I'm looking to average into is on a green day, I won't purchase any more of it that day. There's always a better opportunity in these markets because they are so volatile. They move really quickly. That being said, if we do see a leg towards the upside, make sure you're taking some profits. You know, there's no harm in taking some profit out of your even long-term positions like Hbar. That solidifies those gains. If we then see a drawdown of 5-10%, you can just buy back in, you know, and holding some of these stable coins like USDT or USDC, which is backed obviously by physical fiat, is normally a good idea. Or alternatively, you can pull money straight out of the markets. Wanted to talk a little bit here about Ethereum, and I'll cover Bitcoin again in a minute, as there's a great article here published. I will try and leave this link down in the description for you guys, and it's just looking at the sentiment insight report for on-chain analysis of Ethereum. So what we can see is Ethereum has seen quite the bloodbath here in May and has rebounded mildly to just above $2,000. Our latest Ethereum analysis covers the highest volume spike of the year with excessively short funding rates, rising supply on exchanges in May, and plenty more to come. So we can see that this MVRV indicates the sentiment mood around surrounding an asset at any given moment, deducing the chances of future price movement based on probability. So you can see the opportunity zone here and the danger zone. So we're firmly now back into this opportunity zone for Ethereum, according to this particular piece of analysis. Reports that Ethereum saw one of the highest weekly trading volumes despite market conditions, stating this week was the highest trading volume for Ethereum, even more than the previous meltdown in January of 2022. And it looks like that's some decent capitulation volume. The first day in May also saw a huge increase in supply on exchanges as folks rushed to exit their positions, as compared to last year's trend of declining exchange balances. This has impacted the price of Ethereum as it fell to lows of $1,700 on May the 12th. In the latest market rebound, Ethereum has risen by nearly 3% in the last 24 hours to reach intraday highs of $2,100, seen at the time of writing. Ethereum currently trades at just shy of that figure. So we can see the number of addresses holding 10 plus ETH has just reached a 16-month high of just shy of 290,000. So clearly there are some sort of mid-sized wallets that are also beginning to accumulate, as well as the Glassnode alerts saying that there has been an influx of large holders or simply retail holders increasing their supply. There's a thread here from Vitalik on this. So he speaks about the contradiction between his desire to see Ethereum become a more Bitcoin-like system and the realization that getting there requires a lot of active, coordinated, short-term change. He also says he desires Ethereum to become a layer 1 that can survive truly extreme circumstances. Obviously, all of this has come around the recent news of what's happened with Terra Luna. Making sure that your layer 1 is scalable and sustainable is obviously very important. This is one of the reasons why I am a big proponent of Hbar, because they already tick all of those boxes. That being said, it does appear like Ethereum is in a very good buying opportunity, and don't be mistaken, Ethereum won't go away anytime soon, despite the fact that, you know, it's not scalable, gas fees are massive, it's not green. Unfortunately, it's got a massive first mover advantage, and a lot of development is being poured into Ethereum, time, resources, energy, etc. That being said, another piece of news which backs up why Ethereum might be a good purchase, particularly over the next sort of 12 months or so, is that Cloudflare, one of the biggest CDN and infrastructure providers for the web with a yearly revenue of $650 million, is moving into Web 3.0. Now, I personally use Cloudflare for some side projects that I do run as well. Actually, I'm also an investor of the Cloudflare platform, as I do hold stock in the in the DNS provider. That being said, over the next few months, Cloudflare will launch and fully stake Ethereum Validator Nodes on Cloudflare's global network. Now, Cloudflare's global network is scaling at an enormous rate, and there has been talks about them potentially buying out some of their competition. They've got sort of hosting facilities all across the globe, and they are fully focused on expanding. Their CEO, the company's actually sort of family run. The CEO has been around since day dot, and he has had some great visions for strategy. So I kind of do believe in what they're saying. As I said, I use their services and do invest in them anyway. So I may be slightly biased towards Cloudflare and what they're doing here. But the fact that they're choosing Ethereum does show me that they're seeing some potential upside. It says here the community approaches its transition from proof of work to proof of stake with the merge. Wesley Evans, who works in the Web3 research at Cloudflare, we're going to be staking using our own assets. Evan further confirmed this by saying, making this one of the biggest and one of the first established companies to stake Ethereum. They already run ETH nodes, with Evan stating Cloudflare has a lot of experience with ETH. We want to help ETH, which is the most popular smart contract ecosystem today, make the transition to proof of stake smoothly. They also run the ETH.link resolver and the IPFS, as well as the ETH gateways, in addition to proxying much of the web traffic. As recently as 2 years ago, Web 3.0 was an up-and-coming ecosystem with minimal traffic compared to the majority of traffic on the internet. The last 2 years has changed the Web3 use landscape. Traffic to the Bitcoin and Ethereum networks have exploded. So obviously Cloudflare here are basically putting their money where their mouth is, and they think this upwards trajectory of Ethereum network usage will continue to expand, because obviously they get a share of the revenue of traffic that moves towards those through providing the DNS resolution on those sites. So this is a bit of a bet from a very large company over in the States that Ethereum will be around for a long time, and it's one that I'm willing to make alongside them. So I may end up picking up some ETH at these prices. That being said, I wanted to cover this Bitcoin USD longs chart again. This is the third time I've covered this, but it's very important because it just continues to rise. So we can see day over day again, we've got an increase in Bitcoin long positions. Short interest now is somewhere around 3%, with long positions around the 95% level. So massive amounts of whales over on Bitfinex are accumulating long positions for Bitcoin. They're effectively betting that Bitcoin's price is almost at its bottom and will continue to reverse from here. And this further supports that idea of a melt up. So if we do see a melt up, obviously majority of the layer 1 solutions and other blue chip projects in the space like Ethereum, Hbar, etc., will continue to move towards the upside if this does happen for Bitcoin first. This is definitely one to keep your eye on. If we see a reversal in this, this will mean that the whales have lost faith or interest effectively in holding those long positions as they see further moves towards the downside. That would be a very big red flag for the cryptocurrency markets, and we can see further legs towards the downside. That being said, let's quickly cover that Do-Kwon announcement for TERRA. So TERRA is more than UST, inspiring to take in yada yada. I'm not going to read it all because it's just a load of nonsense in my opinion. However, he's effectively turned around and stated here, the TERRA chain as it currently exists should be forked into a new chain without algorithmic stablecoins called TERRA, so token being Luna, and the old chain will become TERRA Classic. This is similar to what Ethereum has done in the past, and that token will be renamed LUNC. Both chains will coexist. New Luna tokens will be airdropped to Luna C or LUNC stakers, holders, residual UST holders, and essential app developers. Also, TFL's wallet will be removed from the airdrop, making TERRA a fully community-owned chain. We believe this token distribution, in addition to best efforts by the Luna Foundation Guard to make UST holders whole, best solves the varying interests and time preferences for each stakeholder group. Most importantly, creates the most viable path to revive the TERRA ecosystem. So long story short, they're effectively proposing coordinated fork with the validators next Friday on the 27th of May to create a separate sidechain of Luna where they could reset the token supply back to 1 billion tokens from the absolute fiasco that they're currently seeing on what they're now calling TERRA Classic, which will be 7 trillion circulating supply, whatever it is. In my opinion, I don't really want to touch this now. I think this has been handled very poorly. There could be an opportunity here to get in very early into the Luna fork once it does go live. We'll see what the exchange's reactions to this. I'm curious to see whether Binance will list this fork of the chain or whether they're not going to be touching this ecosystem, the barge pole. That'll be a very interesting thing to see. However, there could be some alpha here in this project, although very, very risky, as we could see it drop to zero immediately again, like we have seen over the last couple of days. I'll keep people informed on that one. More great news coming out of Hedera, as there's another partnership. Canadian startup EMISSION Software is now in partnership with the Hbar Foundation, will utilize EMV Blockchain's Guardian platform built on Hedera to improve transparency and client accessibility to ESG assets such as carbon credits. We see here a great response from the Hbar Bull, something I've said in many of my videos. The Hbar Foundation is going hard in the sustainability space, along with many others, including Avery Dennison, Miko, DOVU Official, EMV Blockchain, Tim Les. This kind of laser focus will pay off. I've said this before, there is a general paradigm shift towards carbon accountability across the globe in general, and Hedera being a first mover with some of these key partnerships could pay off very well into the future, particularly if it becomes a mainstay for a means to offset carbon impact and footprints for enterprise adoption, because that's where Hedera really shines. Some great news there. See more information here about eMission's attempt to integrate blockchain into ESG reporting. I won't cover this in any more detail as it is a very lengthy read, although I will leave this link down in the description for you guys. Some other news as well, as Hedera has just been added to the IXCRYPTO index. So IX Asia Index's company has announced that effective from the 19th of May, Terra Luna will be removed from the IXCRYPTO index as the latest extreme events associated with its stablecoin Terra USD has pushed Terra from the top 10 cryptocurrencies by market cap within a week to rank 208th. Hedera, which is the coin with the next highest ranking by market cap and volume screening in the latest quarterly index review, will replace Terra Luna. So this is great. The number of constituent cryptos will remain as 19 constituents. The changes are as follows: addition Hedera, deletion Terra. Now what IXC actually is a Hong Kong launch benchmark indicative crypto index, which aims to reflect the performance of the cryptocurrency market, denominated in USD, aims to cover the top 80% of the cumulative free floating market cap in the crypto universe, and at the same time falls under the top 25 ranking by trading volume in the last preceding 90 days of the review date. So effectively what they're doing is they're taking some of the biggest movers in the crypto sphere and using that to try and track and predict where the markets are moving in real time. Great to see that Hedera is being added here based on its volume and market capitalization. Clearly shows that it's one of the big boys in the space, which is fantastic. Should also give Hedera some additional exposure. Great tweet here by 𝗟𝗘𝗙𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦 saying that if you're in crypto and feeling a little delusioned or just getting in recently, Hedera Hbar fan will make you feel welcome, the best, most knowledgeable and welcoming community I've ever had the privilege of being part of. Hopefully as well, 𝗟𝗘𝗙 is reaching out some of that dead Luna ecosystem to try and pull those developers across. Hedera is continuing to grow and we are seeing that social sentiment over on places like Twitter, which is great to see. The marketing campaigns are still kicking up and gaining speed. Another great tweet here from May the 10th by 𝗥𝗙𝗙𝗥𝗥𝗔𝗟𝗦 saying, don't sleep on Hedera. Just kind of wanted to show it for the integrity of this sort of infographic. I think this is fairly old now. However, it really does show the sheer capability of Hedera. So we can see the Hedera consensus service at the bottom here with obviously its gossip protocol being secured by ABFT. We can see that we've got things going on like dApps. We've got peer-to-peer payments that can be leveraged via this. We've got Web 3.0 with network nodes, DLS encryption, and cyber attack resilience. Going up the layers effectively, we've got reduced data size per transaction, lowers the costs, which increases network speed and settlements, 3 to 5 seconds of finality, 0.001 cents fixed per transaction, DLT service providers with built-in centralized control levers and client optimization. We've got the max supply, the transaction per second, kilowatt hour usage from the token service. That obviously goes for fungible and NFTs. We've got the layer 1 internet, layer 2 being consensus, and layer 3 being services. DAG network based off that storage. The architecture of Hedera, a network of transactions connected to only other transactions without blocks, a form of DLT but non-blockchain. Utility is the better service to supply chain, DeFi payments, energy sector, ESG, carbon credits, etc. Tokens are used for application settlements quickly and securely. And then we've got our current adopters and founding members at the top. Massive list and a lot going on here, but just shows the sheer capability of Hedera if you weren't aware. Another great thread posted by 𝗟𝗚𝗙𝗥𝗥𝗥𝗥𝗙 saying that Hedera can be the missing key to unleashing the metaverse's massive adoption, plus the right stimulus for entrepreneurs, companies, and gamers to explore new and innovative utilities. Hint, it's just about to disrupt $610 billion worth of industries. Here's why. So this is their take on why Hedera could be the disruptor to this universe. Metaverses are the next logical step in the digital revolution, a key tool to shift from traditional Web 2 to the new Web 3 world. Yet to succeed, they need trustless connection, secure networks, fast transactions, low fees, and guess what? Hedera meets all of these demands: a trustless and decentralized network, highest grade of security, blazing fast transaction speeds, predictably low fees, eco-friendly solutions, enterprise-grade network resilience with excellence. The Hbar Foundation has created the Metaverse Fund with the goal to encourage entrepreneurs, companies, and developers to build new applications in high-growth target areas, attract new consumers and gamers into the Hedera ecosystem. This means that broad experience and financial backing to build the most innovative metaverse ever. In other words, Hedera is also helping you disrupt the $200 billion gaming industry and the $412 billion collectibles industry. If you're a developer, entrepreneur, or company looking to build on the metaverse on the Hedera network, you can also apply for grants. If you're a Hbar holder, obviously you can stake to get your new HBARX tokens. Plenty of videos on my channel here. Great thread by 𝗟𝗚𝗙𝗥𝗥𝗥𝗥𝗙, again explaining why Hedera is better and could unlock the potential for these big networks. Rounding up the video, I just wanted to end on this summary thread by Matt Smithies about yesterday's Whirlwind DOVU official event of the apex of the blood moon. Item that was the most anticipated was the DAO distribution mechanism by activating blood mode on the calculator. Obviously, I released a video yesterday showing you guys how to get some of those free DOVU tokens. Make sure you check that out if you haven't seen it yet. This obviously gives a user the ability to link their Ethereum and Hedera through DOVU official to access future DAO drops based on cross-chain holdings and ongoing vampire attacks. So we can see here that this is not a singular event in of itself. You probably should link because there could be potential rewards in the future as well for doing so. And going by the history of DOVU, they have been quite mischievous in dropping lots of additional tokens, airdrops, and incentives for being a holder on HTS, so it's well worth doing. HTS snapshot distribution as well was done, completely seamless. Hats off to the team over at DOVU. New claimable token system is flexible and powerful, as well as allows us to reward any marketplace user in real time for any reason, from the DAO distribution to community contribution. Released additional multipliers, one holding DOVU as a lifetime reward, a permanent bonus. You have to be careful to never remove value from your account or you'll lose it. And they also have a new multiplier for tracking HTS holdings of particular whitelisted campaigns. This gives us the ability to collaborate with any project on Hedera, including tokens and NFT collections. So again, they've just built some really cool stuff, which enables them to track users effectively across the Hedera ecosystem. They want to reward those that are in this place early and are engaging with the community. So make sure you're one of those, because it's a great time to get some free tokens and also support a fantastic project. Little known fact that our staking platform has been built from the ground up, gasless, auto compounds, and is auto staking by default. We have the ability to run unlimited multipliers in parallel if we so wish. The DOVU Labs team, him, Charlie Go, and 𝗥𝗘𝗙𝗡𝗏𝗦 submitted their H22 Hedera hackathon project for a decentralized system for reputational insurance for carbon removal and ESG projects, a new DeFi protocol with the core DOVU utility. Fantastic to see from Matt posting this thread. Ever bullish on DOVU itself, as it is definitely a blue chip of the Hedera ecosystem. Anyway, guys, this is quite a lengthy video. Like I said, tons of information to cover. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, drop a like, leave a comment if you've got something to say. Make sure you're subscribed, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Cheers.